Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and treasure hunters. Today, we're uncovering two of the rarest and most valuable United States Washington $quarter coins that could be hiding in everyday pocket change. One of these coins might be worth far more than its face value, so stay with us until the end. You won't want to miss these incredible discoveries. First coin. The 1951 Lincoln wheat cent from the Philadelphia Mint is one of those coins that most people would never look at twice, yet it quietly carries the legacy of an era that helped shape modern America. Because it was struck in Philadelphia, it does not display a D or an S mint mark beneath the date, a detail that immediately identifies its place of origin for knowledgeable collectors. At first glance, it seems like nothing more than another old penny tucked away in a forgotten jar, resting at the bottom of a drawer, or mixed into a family coin collection that has gone untouched for decades. But every surviving example represents a genuine piece of American history, created during a time when the nation was emerging from World War II and entering a period of remarkable economic growth, making this humble cent far more fascinating than its 1 cent face value could ever suggest. Designed by Victor David Brenner, the obverse proudly features Abraham Lincoln facing right, a portrait first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. The reverse displays the famous wheat ears framing the words 1 cent and United States of America, a design that remained in production until 1958 before being replaced by the Lincoln Memorial reverse. The warm reddish glow of an original uncirculated example can be breathtaking, while older circulated pieces often develop rich brown or chocolate-colored surfaces that tell the story of decades spent changing hands across grocery stores, banks, family businesses, and countless everyday transactions. The Philadelphia Mint produced well over 200 million Lincoln cents in 1951, meaning this issue is not considered rare simply because of its mintage. However, experienced collectors know that rarity is only one part of the equation. Condition often matters far more than quantity, and finding a sharply struck example with blazing original mint luster, clean surfaces, and minimal contact marks becomes increasingly difficult as time passes. Coins that escape circulation shortly after leaving the mint have become much more desirable because they preserve the appearance intended by the engravers over 70 years ago, offering a remarkable glimpse into American coinage at its finest. Interest in the 1951 Philadelphia wheat cent also extends far beyond ordinary examples because collectors are constantly searching for unusual mint-made varieties and striking errors. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, clip planchets, die cracks, die chips, lamination errors, and dramatic misaligned dies are all possibilities that can transform a common coin into something significantly more collectible. While genuine error coins are uncommon, they remind collectors that even highly organized minting operations occasionally produced unexpected results, creating accidental treasures that continue to fascinate the numismatic community decades after they were released into circulation. One feature that deserves careful attention is the coin's color designation. Professional grading services classify copper cents as red, red-brown, or brown, depending on how much of the original mint color remains. Brilliant red examples that have retained nearly all of their original copper appearance are generally much scarcer in high grades than darker circulated pieces, making them especially attractive to advanced collectors. Even subtle differences in surface preservation, strike quality, and eye appeal can dramatically influence collector demand, proving that two coins struck in the same year can have very different stories and very different market appeal. Authenticating and evaluating a 1951 Philadelphia wheat cent requires patience rather than excitement. Collectors carefully inspect Lincoln's hair, beard, jawline, and coat, along with the wheat stalks, lettering, and date, looking for unusually sharp details or signs of wear. They also examine the rim, Check for evidence of cleaning or environmental damage. Verify that the coin has the proper weight and composition for a bronze wheat cent of its era, and use magnification to identify legitimate mint-made characteristics instead of damage that occurred after the coin entered circulation. Those careful observations often reveal details invisible to the naked eye. Although ordinary circulated examples are generally worth only a modest premium over face value, exceptional pieces can command much stronger prices because collectors compete for the finest survivors. Certified mint state examples with exceptional eye appeal, strong original luster, and full red color have achieved impressive auction results compared with average circulated coins. Likewise, authentic mint errors or important die varieties may attract significant interest depending on their rarity, condition, and the strength of collector demand at the time they appear on the market. Every coin must be evaluated individually, since no two examples age in exactly the same way. Perhaps the greatest appeal of the 1951 Philadelphia wheat cent is that it encourages curiosity. Millions of these pennies were once spent without a second thought, yet today they inspire collectors to search through inherited collections, old bank rolls, estate sales, and forgotten piggy banks in hopes of discovering an unusually well-preserved specimen or a fascinating mint error. The thrill is not simply about finding a valuable coin, but about uncovering a genuine historical artifact that quietly survived generations of everyday American life, while preserving the craftsmanship of a bygone era. As collectors continue studying Lincoln wheat cents, the 1951 Philadelphia issue remains an important reminder that value is influenced by far more than age alone. Strike quality, preservation, originality, certification, color, rarity of any mint error, and overall eye appeal all contribute to collector interest. A coin that appears ordinary at first glance may reveal extraordinary characteristics under careful examination, rewarding knowledge, patience, and attention to detail instead of luck alone. That is precisely why experienced numismatists rarely dismiss any old wheat cent without giving it a thorough inspection. So the next time a 1951 Lincoln wheat cent without a D or S mint mark appears in your hands, resist the urge to overlook it simply because it seems common. Take a closer look at its surfaces, study its design, appreciate the craftsmanship, and consider the remarkable journey it has taken through more than 7 decades of American history. Whether it becomes a cherished keepsake, the beginning of a new collection, or simply a reminder that history can hide in the smallest places, this unassuming Philadelphia wheat cent proves that even the most ordinary-looking penny can carry an extraordinary story waiting to be discovered. Second coin, the 1958 United States Lincoln wheat cent featuring a D mint mark from the Denver Mint, is the kind of coin that countless people have handled without a second thought. Yet hidden beneath its familiar copper surface is a remarkable story that stretches across American history, the final chapter of one of the nation's most beloved coin designs, and a collecting world filled with fascinating discoveries. At first glance, it seems like nothing more than a common penny that may have rested for decades in old jars, forgotten drawers, or family piggy banks, but every tiny detail on this coin tells a much larger story. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln represents the enduring legacy of one of America's greatest presidents, while the wheat ears on the reverse symbolize prosperity, growth, and the nation's agricultural roots. For many collectors, this seemingly ordinary cent marks the closing moments of an iconic era, making it a coin that deserves a much closer look before anyone dismisses it as spare change. By 1958, the Lincoln wheat cent had already served Americans for nearly half a century after its debut in 1909, becoming one of the most recognizable coins ever produced in the United States. That year also carried enormous significance, because it would become the final year the famous wheat reverse was struck for circulation, before the design changed forever in 1959, to celebrate Lincoln's 150th birthday with the Lincoln Memorial Reverse. The Denver Mint played an important role in producing these final wheat cents, placing the distinctive D mint mark beneath the date to identify their origin. Millions entered circulation, passing through grocery stores, banks, schools, and businesses across the country. But few people realized they were witnessing the conclusion of a design that would soon become a cherished piece of American numismatic history. The visual appearance of the 1958 D Lincoln wheat cent reveals why collectors continue to admire it decades later. On the obverse, Victor David Brenner's portrait of Abraham Lincoln remains elegant and instantly recognizable, surrounded by the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the date with the small but important D mint mark. Turn the coin over and the classic wheat ears gracefully frame the words 1 cent and United States of America, with EPLURIBUSUNUM arching above. Fresh examples display bright original luster with rich red color, while circulated pieces often develop warm brown or chocolate tones that tell stories of countless transactions over many years. Every scratch, every shade of color, and every surviving detail offers clues about the journey each coin has taken through history. Although the vast majority of 1958 D wheat cents are common, collectors know that rarity is often created not by the date alone, but by condition, striking quality, and unusual minting characteristics. Coins with sharp details, full original mint luster, and minimal contact marks become increasingly difficult to locate, because so many examples spent decades circulating in everyday commerce. The difference between an average circulated coin and a beautifully preserved mint state example can be dramatic, especially when original red surfaces remain untouched by oxidation. As collectors search for the finest surviving examples, competition naturally grows, making exceptional pieces far more desirable than ordinary circulation finds. The world of mint errors adds another layer of excitement to the 1958 D Lincoln wheat cent. Specialists carefully examine these coins for off-center strikes, die cracks, die chips, repunched mint marks from earlier production practices, clipped planchets, broad strikes, lamination errors, and dramatic die breaks that transform ordinary coins into remarkable collectibles. Even subtle doubled features or unusual striking anomalies can attract serious attention when verified by experienced professionals. Most coins will show no significant errors at all, but the possibility that an overlooked cent could reveal an unusual production mistake keeps collectors searching through rolls, collections, and inherited coin jars with endless curiosity. Perhaps the greatest source of fascination surrounding the year 1958 comes from one of the rarest and most famous Lincoln cent varieties ever known, the legendary 1958 double die obverse, a coin that has achieved almost mythical status within the collecting community. While that famous rarity is associated with Philadelphia,